I've been called out by a huge YouTuber, Whistlin Diesel. He says, "You're not the brightest bulb, are you?" When responding to my video where I talk about his flirting with day trading, where he made a video claiming to turn 10K into 1 million to prove people are lazy. And he says in the video description, "I wanted to create a series showing people that hate money how truly possible it is to make money and joy." So we're gonna talk about this because apparently I have been epically trolled. This is according to his big response on Instagram. Did I genuinely just troll CoffeeZilla? I don't think I've seen anyone bite every hook I've cast. This is amazing. He didn't include any of my screenshots I've sent him. Wouldn't that be proper journalism? Time to show Steven Findenstein why I have 9.99 million subscribers. Guys, watch out. Mr. 9.99 is coming at us big time with both barrels. So I want to go through, we're going to go through all our text messages together, which by the way, are linked in the main video, have been from the very beginning. We did quote him in our video, but he says the full context exonerates him. It changes the story. We're trying to lead you astray. So I'm going to show you everything today so you can see for yourself. But first I want to talk about this main thing that he seems to be saying where this is all a troll, right? Where have we heard this before? Anytime you take someone seriously, it's all a big troll. Well, let's look at the comment section of Whistlin Diesel. These are the people who know him best. They're saying, "Don't underestimate your subscriber base. They can make and definitely break you. One hell of a way to screw up your channel and destroy your reputation. Not watching this channel again." Now, did all these people miss the joke? All of you, this is not my selection of your comments. I mean, it's funny, in his Instagram post, he like selectively grabs a few screenshots where people with no likes are defending him, saying, if you're taking Whistlin Diesel seriously, you're not that bright of a person. But on your comment section, not filtered, where it's all the top comments, people are saying Cody's doing a durability test of your career. So apparently everyone missed the joke. Nobody understood that this was a giant big laugh. This actually isn't even the first time it happened. Previously, he got in a fight with people because he called a Ferrari a, quote, normal car. You just think it's crazy because you're poor and have low standards. That's the bare minimum. And when people rightfully called him out for this insane out-of-touch take, instead, he once again kind of said, well, they're just not getting the joke.
This guy got offended that I called everyone poor. You know what? Cry me a river. Do you think if I walked up to Jeff Bezos and said, "You're poor," would he get offended?
No, probably not.
Mr. Jeff is gonna laugh. Because Jeff Bezos knows he's not insecure. But yet, if I go up to a homeless person and call them poor, they still laugh because they know they're poor. They're not trying to, I'm not poor. They don't get all sensitive about it. But yet, if I call one overbite, greasy head, redneck, with 5 missing teeth poor, they get all upset and cry to mommy.
And here's where we first see Whistlin Diesel's special brand of comedy. Yes, he will use a Vine boom effect 5 times in a row.
Overbite, greasy head, redneck, with 5 missing teeth poor.
But also, he will often say something kind of sincere after he makes this big joke.
Maybe that's because you know that you're not where you want to be in life and you're mad about it.
So the over-the-top character serves something that he ostensibly believes. He really thinks if you don't like out-of-touch millionaires like him calling people poor, that must be just because you're a hater. You're not where you want to be in life. Not realizing that he has actually lucked out. He lucked into a very high income job. And I can admit that because, hey, guess what? I'm a YouTuber as well. And yes, sure, we work hard, but at the same time, it's not as hard as like being a teacher, which gets paid way less. It's not as hard as being a cop, a firefighter, which get paid way less than a lot of YouTubers at the top end. So this idea that a Ferrari is a normal car and that everyone else who can't afford it must just have low standards, I think is just incredibly stupid. Now, just so I wouldn't get trolled again, I wanted to make sure that this sentiment he's expressing about Ferraris isn't secretly a 10,000 IQ comedy play, right? It's not some satirical thing that he doesn't actually believe. So we actually discussed it over text, and he said this. He says, a Ferrari is very attainable, and anyone that thinks they're unattainable should raise their standards and try harder in life. But it's not about cars. People stay impoverished because they think big things are unattainable and lower their goals. And so yeah, when you press him on this thing he's joking about, it turns out He actually does believe it. He does believe people are impoverished just because they haven't set high enough goals. And you're gonna see something similar with this day trading thing. He's gonna claim that he went in there with an over-the-top attitude and it's just all a troll and we fell for it. But when you actually get to the heart of what the video's saying, the video is pushing Alex as this super great trader. Cody is just the foil to that as the uneducated guy, which is something we pointed out in our main video. I mean, we directly addressed it. And it's kind of a strange mix because Cody seems to not take this seriously at all, while Alex is very serious. So he's gonna claim we got trolled because he played this character, but when we ask him, actually, what do you believe? Does he ever say, oh no, it's just a joke. I don't actually think people should be day trading. I'm not actually trying to promote day trading gurus. No, he doesn't say that because I don't think that's what he believes. But we're gonna jump into it because, we're gonna talk about the full context because actually what you're gonna find is that we Adam 22'd this guy, okay? If you remember Adam 22, we warned him not to do the scam and then he did it anyways. And then he later called us a grifter. And I'm like, wait, what? I tried to stop you. Well, that's kind of what I did with Cody, Whistlin Diesel, is when I first went to him, I was thinking, look, this is kind of an interesting video, but really I want to just tell him that the guy he promoted might be a fake guru, right? I just want to warn him because maybe he wasn't educated. So a lot of the conversation you're going to see is actually me just trying to plead with him to not continue spreading this misinformation to his audience, right? Not continue to do this. And that's what I was so surprised by is now he's saying like, oh, this was all a big satire, but you never mentioned that in our conversation where I'm telling you, I'm warning you that if you didn't know, now you know, you've been warned. So let's talk about it here. This is the start of our conversation. This is CoffeeZilla trying to reach Whistlin Diesel. I'm reaching out for comment about your recent YouTube video where you featured a Forex day trader who's selling courses. FXALEXG is his handle. Did you get paid to do that video or in some other way like access to his Bugattis? It's not your normal type of content and seems sponsored. He says, can I prove it's you? So I prove it. He says, epic, as much as I'd love to say he paid me for the headlines, I actually wanted to see if I could make money day trading. Trying it for the new experiences and content, although it's hilarious how people are reacting to it. So there we see, he doesn't say, hey, this was a big joke. He doesn't say, oh, this was a big satire. He says, I wanted to see if I could make money day trading. And so he posts his screenshots with Alex. And here's the content idea that he comes up with. He says, I'm experimenting with different style videos where I basically try a new experience or buy something new to try it out. I thought a Cody invests all his money day trading a video would be cool where I shadow you for like a day and we use 20K of my own money to see what we can do with it. Obviously, we don't want to actually lose money, but we could pretend to do all the worst moves like panic buy and sell based on no information, and you're just cringing, LMAO. Alex responds, I think that's a fire idea. We can make it lit. So this is where the whole argument that, hey, it's just a big troll, it's just a big satire. But at the core of the video, Cody's trying to actually learn something about day trading. He's trying to show people something real about day trading, which is why this whole thing of like, it's just a satirical joke doesn't really fly with me. I ask him directly, is it your statement that the whole video was a joke? And he responds, my statement is the same as from the beginning. I wanted to try day trading as a beginner, so I did and filmed the experience, lol. So when you actually press Cody on like, hey, why'd you do this? Was it a big joke? Was it a big satire? You actually get, no, it was a sincere try at day trading as a beginner. Yes, he played up this character, which we talked about in our video, but ultimately it was about him sincerely trying. Now that was later in our text thread. I just wanted to show that. I'm gonna go back up to the top and we're gonna continue from there. And in these screenshots you see, okay, sort of like, hey, if you're confident, I'll do like 100K. It'll be viral, I think. I have no clue what I'm doing. Oh, I'm confident AF. We just have to catch a good session, so we have to have a good time. So here's these extra screenshots here, literally just tell me with 1 day notice. This is Alex G he's talking to. What if we did it this week? I'm down, let's do it. Anytime this week works. Okay, so then he responds to me. And I legit made 9K from 10K in 2 hours trading. Probably gonna make another video for people calling it scammy. So again, he knows people think it's scammy that he did this. I said, thanks for the context. What broker did he or you use? And did you think it was weird that he asked you to blur stuff? Now, Cody responds, I don't even know what a broker is actually. All we blurred was his account balance. Now, I found this a little weird because like a broker is like the most important thing and also how people fake trades in Forex. So at this point, and you can go watch my videos on Trader's Domain right now, which has been charged by the CFTC. You can go see my stuff on Omega Pro where there have been charges by the FBI. But, you know, I'm thinking at this point, maybe Cody just doesn't know, right? So I tell him, he's been accused, FXALEXG, multiple times of fake trades and faking stuff. He does technical analysis, which is a bit like astrology for finance. There's little evidence it works over long periods and tons of evidence that 99% of traders lose. Forex is one of the most scammy markets in the world, and faking trades is the oldest trick in the book. Broker is who executes the trades. There are ways to rig trades in your favor. He responds, I see. I sat there and watched it all. Made 9K in 2 hours-ish, haha. I actually told him when to pull out my money and everything. And so you'll see, I continue to plead with this guy. And do you get the sense that I'm not actually trying to get him here? Like, I'm just trying to explain it to him. I say, I hear you, but I can't say without more info whether those trades were rigged, right? Because things are blurred. I don't know which broker they're using, but what I can say is that Forex is full of the biggest fraudsters in the world, and this guy checks a lot of the boxes. Now, later, obviously, we realize he's, promoting this prop firm that he actually owns, which is insane. He's telling minors that they can, trade on their parents' accounts, which they're not allowed to do. He's telling people to VPN, right? But then I say, they want to use people like you to self-promote so viewers buy the course. He says, interesting, I didn't even know he had a course, lol. Everything I watched that day was legit though. We didn't fake anything. Then he says, literally as you're texting me, my COO messages and says he caught an ex-employee charging 35, whatever. He's trying to give me another story. I'm not gonna bite. I say, yeah, that's the main way most of these gurus make money. Think about it logically. If you just have a proven system to make millions of dollars consistently, why would you give it to other people for $2,000 a pop? This is always the question I ask these people. It's like, it doesn't make sense to give away your edge. You could just start up a massive hedge fund if you really had the strategy, raise tons of capital and scale it to billions. Instead, all these guys do is get a MetaTrader account, get a bunch of flashy cars, sell a lifestyle, and teach basic technical analysis, promising young people to get them rich. The guy's motto is set and forget. It's the definition of a get-rich-quick scheme. Everyone knows there's no such thing as getting wealthy by setting and forgetting. I mean, again, I can't believe he's coming at me going, you should have shown more screenshots. My guy, do you think that makes you look good? It's just me explaining, like, really methodically how the grift of these gurus work. And so I think it's funny, he's like, show more of our texts. Fine, we'll show all of them. It's just Cody being like, well, maybe I saw everything, even though I know nothing about day trading, according to him. I would know somehow if it was legit or not. So we have a long conversation. I will, again, link all of this below. A lot of this is, once again, me saying, look, there's a reason that people who have profitable strategies, they're just running hedge funds, right? Why would you give away your alpha? People don't understand that in finance, different strategies have a size limitation because at a certain level, you're affecting the market with the size of your trade. So as you size up, your alpha starts to diminish because you start to become more of the market. So the idea that if you were super successful, you would sell your trading ideas is insane. And I just explain it here. It's complicated, but TLDR, if you had success in the Forex market, the last thing you would do is give away your edge. And I explained to him, there's tons of people doing this. Then he gets to the whole I didn't promote him thing. I literally went day trading with him and made $9,000. He's factually skilled enough to make double my money in a few hours. And then we get back to Cody's beliefs about society and money. I truly believe society is so stupid that if I made a video about how to easily make $1 million, which is what I'm doing in the series, they still wouldn't take advantage of it because society is trained to avoid risk and not aim high. Again, that was the perfect chance to say, hey man, it was all a joke. Instead he goes, I'm showing people in this series how to easily make $1 million. That's what Cody says behind the scenes. Now, if this is part of the epic troll, if this is still part of the over-the-top brand, I guess I just don't get Cody's unique brand of comedy. Quote, hence why him giving away his edge probably isn't affecting his edge. The same reason I was scared to show people how to make good YouTube videos for years because I thought everyone would do it if they had information and there's only so many viewers in a niche. Nope, most people won't even try something because they're too lazy and don't want to take a risk. I said, you don't know the broker, but you're so confident it was a real and not simulated trade or fake trade. Did you check? How did you even get your money on the platform to place trades? Did you wire to him? And then I show him where he's saying that LQH Markets is a trusted broker. Athens Markets, that's his old broker, and it has really poor reviews. I show him that US people aren't even allowed on the platform, once again pointing out all the red flags in this guy. But he just responds, no, I just said I wanted to put up $9,000, but I profited, so I didn't have to pay him anything. And here's where we first learn that Cody did not actually put up the money, I guess, or is what it sounds like from his messages, which was an angle I didn't even get into my main video, but since we're, diving into the messages, let's just expose this. He claims that he went there with $9,000, but because they made money during the session, he didn't ever put the money in, right? It was just an account that I guess Alex already had set up. So it just was all even at the end of the day. But then he replies, I don't even know what this means. That's the whole reason I went day trading for video. I watched the trade happen in real time and I told him when to pull out my money. Actually, not his money because he didn't put it in. But he says, not sure how you could fake it though. And that last line is specifically part of what my video was about how you can use simulated trades to make it look like you have a real balance and place trades and you're not actually making any money. You're just using these simulated accounts. Now, again, we don't know what the case was there. There was so much blurred. There was so much that we don't know about what broker they were specifically using there. And the other part of my video was about how risky it is to try to flip an account like this. And I showed how, by their own admission, they nearly blew up the account once. And if you just continued the trade, they would have blown it up if they continued to leave their money in the markets. And that's really all there is to it. Those were all our messages, all the screenshots. And I have to ask you guys, do you guys think that makes Whistlin Diesel look better, knowing that I tried to explain all this before I made my video? I tried to explain why his video was wrong behind the scenes. Like, if anything, I think the additional context makes him look worse. But we're gonna talk about all the follow-ups to all of this because subsequently, me and Cody have been talking over text and I've been trying to understand, like, his whole energy and all of this is pretty weird. I thought I was really fair to him, or probably overly fair. And I said, why are you saying that, okay, you're not the brightest bulb? I said, look, I'm happy to invite you on an interview or chat if you want. Did you know Alex was pushing a prop firm he secretly partially owned? And he said, because you took everything in the video seriously. I don't know what a prop firm is. I'm not a day trading expert. That's why I made the video. He asks where I'm located. I say, you made the video and did zero due diligence. You just YOLO 10K to show people who hate money how possible it is to make money and prove people are lazy. It's just a stupid idea. I said, look, I'll send the Zoom link. And I said, look, I'm not going to tell you where I live for obvious reasons. It's a safety issue. This is why I don't do in-person interviews or stuff like that for people I'm reporting on. But he doesn't like that. He likes the idea of speaking to me in person. He says my whole video is a weird or hypothetical, not including actual screenshots. And he says, although I'm not him and don't know and can't speak for him, I may be down for an interview, but only if it's in person. We get in a discussion of why we would do it in person instead of via a live stream. I explain I have safety concerns with that. He says, Tucker Carlson met with Vladimir Putin for an interview of proper journalism in person, but you're too scared to meet me? And like, this is something I get a lot. People try to like bait me into meeting them. And I've always had the same policy on this. There's literally no reason for me to meet any of these people in person. There's no extra questions that I can ask him in person that I can't ask him on a live stream. So that offer's still open. But Whistlin Diesel has put on his Instagram now that he's thinking of challenging Coffee Chicken to a boxing match. So, yeah, it's just stupid. Like, none of this actually serves the point, the actual meat of the allegations. Instead, it's just distractions, which I guess is the point. And I also try to explain to him that it's funny he brought up Tucker Carlson, who did a puff piece about Russia, like going to the stores and being like, look how clean and awesome it is.
It's perfectly clean and orderly. Look at that. It's fresh too, so it's apparently pretty good.
And my point was, the reason he met him in person is because it was gonna be an easy to like non-confrontational interview. Had it been confrontational, he would have been very stupid to meet him in person for that interview. I mean, this is a guy who's had dissidents assassinated. So I think it's weird that he brought up like Putin as his example of like, if you're gonna interview him, you have to go in person to meet him for like a real interview. It's like, no, you don't. And I proceed to ask him a couple more questions. Were you surprised to find that Alex promotes his course to minors who aren't even allowed to trade? And then I ask him the question about Ferraris, where we've already read that answer. About the minors thing, he says, I don't know the implications of minors trading, but it sounds like an amazing idea to me. Not sure how it could hurt to learn something new. To which I respond, I say, you're a combination of arrogant and uneducated in a way that is deeply painful. He says, use it in a video. I say, I will be using it. He says, personal insults. That's the entire concept of my brand, bro. I said, not meant as an insult. I just mean your responses on Ferraris come off as uneducated and arrogant. He says, I'm sorry my opinion about the feasibility of owning a Ferrari offends me. It does not offend me. I just think it sends a bad message to your followers. And they don't even like it. Like, who likes your message? Your followers are telling you you're out of touch. And your response is they're just haters. I tell it to you, you're saying, oh, I'm sorry it offends you. It doesn't offend me. I just think you're wrong. He says, I guess my goals are just higher. The world is most definitely in a difficult position. Many people can barely afford to put food on the table. The easy of my current life shouldn't be offensive. It should be proof that people can dig themselves out of holes and achieve their dreams. Finding offense at that is the exact reason most people will never achieve their goals. And here, once again, no one's offended that Whistlin Diesel is successful. Everyone's just annoyed that now that he's successful, he assumes that everyone else is lazy for not being equally successful. That's the annoying part. So yeah, I just wanted to make a quick follow-up to this video. He seems to think that me not reading every single screenshot somehow was this big gotcha. He thinks that I was afraid to show it, even though I linked it. But look, I'm happy to show you. Those are all our texts. And yeah, I'll link them below so you can read them for yourself. I think it makes him look much worse because I tried to address all of this with him beforehand in private. But yeah, I guess this is where we're at. I personally find Whistlin Diesel out of touch. I think his new attitude about money is uneducated. I think it is arrogant, but I'm not offended by it. I just think he's wrong. You don't have low standards if you don't have a Ferrari. You're very unlikely to get rich day trading. These gurus trying to sell you courses, most of them are fake. And yeah, that's basically it.